Previously, on Taverns and Caverns Path B, I happened to come across a Takina and Shalonian by the names of Nomu and Yelar. Thankfully, they showed up when they did, due to the band of ogres blocking the main road towards Ormsa. Although they were a bit leery of working with me, I was able to convince them that we had the same goal in mind, to travel south through Strider Valley without any issues. But doing so would require us to get past these pesky ogres. You know, the Goddess Supreme provides me the magic and strength I need to hold my own, but even I, Relinoa Jams Cadenza, know when I'm outmatched. So, with our combined strength, we were able to band together and defeat the ogres, despite taking a few hits. It was a pretty close fight, but we still had it. But after working with the two, I was also able to talk them into traveling with me. It seems we're all heading south, so why not travel together for the time being, right? Plus, they also had some mounts that I did not have, so, you know, horseback does make things go faster. Because who wants to walk on barefoot here through the Strider Valley? Not me. So, thankfully, through the Goddess Supreme, she has brought me 2 new companions for my travel, just as the Goddess Supreme intended. And now we make our way towards the village of Ormsa as our first stopping point. Episode 6, New Companions, Path B. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Taverns and Caverns, everyone. This is your Dungeon Master, HaphazardDM. And last time, on Taverns and Caverns Season 3, Path B, we left off with the story of Nomu and Yelar traveling south from Riverhall, which is a town located to the southern border of Lande. And they're heading south to the nation of Asya in order to get a particular item that they require in order to revive their long-lost friend, Elroy Hafkins. But in order to get to this place known as Rava's Grove in the forest nation of Asya, Nomu has to travel through a particular mountainous area known as Strider Valley. And again, Strider Valley is the home to giants and half-giants. And in the world of Taverns and Caverns, half-giants are known as the Oron Kin. So, for those that are listening that have played D&D, particularly 5th edition, for those that know what a Goliath is, this is basically our version of the Goliath or the half-giant. Now, the Oronkin is actually going to be a race that we have included in our campaign setting book once we finish compiling that up, and it's going to have its own stats and its own abilities and features and such. It's going to be a nice little extra race to have in the campaign setting book for you guys to use once that book is ready. But we ended the last session with Nomu and Yelar running into a half-elven woman known as Relinoa Jams Cadenza. And when they first came across Relinoa, she was standing on the pathway after Nomu and Yelar had entered the Strider Valley. But standing before her and Nomu, Yelar, were a pack of hill giants that were congregating around these ruins next to the main road. The party, unfortunately, wouldn't be able to pass these hill giants without catching their attention, and Relinoa was also heading south, so she requested for Nomu and Yelar to help her dispatch the hill giants, or at least get them to run away if possible, so that she could continue her travel south. After hesitantly joining up with her, the 3 of them were able to defeat the hill giants, and they scared, or I should say they convinced one to run away, fortunately, because the party was getting their butts whooped. It was a tough battle, but they succeeded. At the end of it, though, Relinoa was able to also convince them to join them on their travels to a nearby village known as Ormsa. Ormsa is a village that Nomu is aware of, thanks to the map he has of Strider Valley. And it's going to be a place that the party is going to be able to rest safely and restock on supplies. But from the current location that they are at, it's still going to take a couple days on horseback to reach Ormsa. We want to pick up right after that battle. It's still, I don't remember, I never ever fucking remember the time I always say it is. So our listeners that probably really pay attention to me saying like, oh, it's mid-afternoon, and the next session me saying, oh, it's nighttime now, they're probably like, what the fuck, that's not right. We're going to say you guys have been traveling for a couple hours now on horseback at a decent pace. Nighttime is beginning to come. The sun is going down and the moon is slightly coming up. You guys still know that you have quite some time before you reach the village of Ormsa. So we'll go ahead and start there. As the three of you are on the main road, still traveling, you haven't rested yet. For our listeners, I told Rob and Rod to go in and heal their characters up. So technically, their characters are healed up, but for the current moment, you guys are not. You haven't rested for the evening yet, roleplay wise. But as it begins to grow late or later in the day, Strider Valley, again, is not a place that is heavily inhabited by, society. There are villages, there is the town of Manavik, but it's mostly a place in Ostia that not many people really strive to visit or live in. It's a dangerous place with all the giants, particularly hill giants, and sometimes even fire giants and frost giants who will pop up from time to time. So it is a very dangerous part of Ostia that most people prefer not to attempt to live in. But as night grows near, you guys can see the stars above begin to stick out. It's dark here in Strider Valley along the main path that you're on. There are no lights anywhere near you. The only lights you're going to have are the lanterns or torches or magic that you use to cast any amount of light. So as it grows darker, Nomu, Yelar, do either one of you attempt to pull out a light of any kind? Or what are you all doing as you notice the moon is now out? The only light you have is the moon above, which is not much.
I mean, I got my dark vision. It's all pretty good.
Nomu said, I have dark vision. I don't care. You
Yelar is bringing out a lantern because he does not.
okay. So you have your little handheld lantern, Yalar, as you light that. And Relinoa is riding on Nomu's horse, if I remember correctly. She's
Yep.
behind Nomu, and as she's looking around, she's going to she's for the most part has been fairly silent. It's been a couple hours since the battle with the giants. She hasn't spoken much, the occasional few words here and there, but you can hear now she begins to speak up. Ah, the goddess supreme is telling me that we need to rest soon. It's getting late. What did two of you think? Perhaps we set up camp here on the main road.
Oh, I don't see a problem with that. Why not? What do you think?
Don't really want to stay out here all unprotected.
You got protection. I see your weapon.
That's not what I meant.
Not to interrupt you, Yalar, but you did come out here in the middle of Strider Valley. You should have known that traveling on horseback, even on foot, takes many days to get to the next village. You should have known that, yeah? Did you not know that?
I do a history
What's
to
that?
see. Can I do a history to see if you know that?
Yeah, go ahead. I'd say do it with advantage because you had to travel through Strider Valley, Yalar, to get to River Hall.
Damn.
Oh yeah, he would know.
So you have a 22. Yes, you would know, Yalar. Yalar, you started your quest after helping the sorceress of Valoria, Eska, as you know her. After helping her, you traveled north from the decaying waste into Asia, and to get to Riverhall, the town where Nomu was in Lande, you had to travel through Strider Valley. So you do have knowledge of Strider Valley, I'll say.
Okay.
So anything that takes knowledge checks on parts of Strider Valley going forward, Rod, I'll give you advantage just because you've traveled through Strider Valley already.
Okay. Well, you know what? We'll just go to camp. We'll just make camp.
Ah, sure, fine. I'll start a fire.
Excellent. Well, if that's the case, I think let's camp here. There's no safer place than along the road, I guess. I mean, I guess someone could come across us on the main road, but we'll probably hear them coming, or, it's probably better to stay out here in the open. People can see us from far away, but we could also see them.
Oh boy, I'm gonna probably set a trap. What is that survival check?
He said, I'm going to set a trap.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just throw it right up.
All right, a 23. Yeah, so as you jump off your horse, Nomu, I mean, the area that you're currently in, I mean, you're on the main road, which is just a dirt path. It's nothing fancy. You know,
Hmm.
there's a couple trees around you here and there. Again, the middle of Strider, you're in Strider Valley. You're within a valley. So on each side of you, to the east and to the west, are mountainous, large, gigantic mountains that you can see in the distance. I mean, you're in the flat valley of Strider Valley. So there's not much really around you currently other than just some open fields and some
Hmm.
trees. The mountains are pretty far off from your current location on either side of you, but there's nothing that stands out to you on your survival check. And with a survival check, as you're looking around, I'm going to assume that you're trying to see if anyone's also been nearby.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're on the main path. You can see that this main path is used heavily by travelers and merchants alike. So you can see several footprints, old, none that are recent, but within the last possibly week or so, you see some tracks along the dirt path with some tracks from wooden wheels from carts and whatnot. But on the side of the road where the grass is, you don't necessarily see any signs of anyone like camping here or choosing this place to camp. So for the most part, you're taking a fresh spot in the grass for your camp. Are you guys setting up a fire or whatnot? Sleeping bags?
Yeah. I'm gonna set up a fire.
Okay.
Uh, Yelar has a cantrip to create a bonfire,
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
nice. Okay.
so he will do that.
So as Nomu is checking out the surroundings, setting up what kind of trap are you trying to set up, Nomu?
That's more like alarms, like coins clacking against each other on a string. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
a
Basically grabbing
perimeter.
some, yeah, you basically grabbing some sticks or some twigs, nailing
Yeah.
them or driving them down into the ground and putting some string with some coins or something to kind of catch your attention, make a sound if someone steps within your zone.
Yeah. Just early alarm.
Okay. Well, as you're doing that, you're able to create this bonfire. And Relinoa, she jumps off Nomu's horse and she's looking around. Hmm. Interesting trick you have there, Yelar. Create a bonfire. Can't say I can do that myself. I can create light, but I can't create a bonfire like that. Tell me, are you a wizard by any chance?
Uh, I dab a little bit in the wizardry, but um, for me to do this trick, I got it from my benefactor.
Your benefactor. Kind of like how I communicate with the goddess supreme. Yes?
More or less.
Who is your benefactor?
Uh, he wishes to be anonymous.
He wishes to be anonymous. Interesting. Is he a god?
Uh,
Mhm.
uh,
Why are
no
you
further
laughing, Rob?
questions. No,
Well, no,
no, no further questions.
Relnoa just looks at Yalar dumbfoundedly and just shrugs a bit. Well, I'm just trying to get to know you. Trying to get to know the two that I'm traveling with. I've already told you I follow the God Supreme. I mean, that's a lot more information than most people know about me. But, to each their own, I guess.
Yeah, I understand, but it's like one of those things. If you might piss off the goddess supreme, you don't want to see their bad side. So,
Oh, trust me, you do not. Ever. And as she says this, she leans over, hunching with both hands outwards, open palms, as if she's trying to tell you to stop. Trust me, you never want to upset the Goddess Supreme. It is a sight that only I can bear, no one else.
I completely understand. So, no more asking questions about my benefactor. I mean, you can ask about my powers and whatnot, but just no more questions about them.
Okay. Enough questions about you or about your benefactor. I'm sorry, I hit a sore spot, apparently. What about you, Nomu? Who do you follow?
I follow the sword. Or, in this case, Bastet,
Who is Bastet?
the feline god.
I don't think I've ever heard of this before. The
Yeah,
feline
don't worry
god.
about it.
Hmm. Well, that's okay. That isn't part of the Octadic Divine or the Heptatic Evils, is it?
No.
Hmm. What about you, Yelar? Do you follow either one of those pantheons?
Uh, refer to question. Response A.
He goes, all right, I get it. Talking about your benefactor is a rough sore spot and or the religion you follow. I'm sorry. Just trying to get to know my traveling partners a little bit better since we're going to be on the road with each other for a couple of days, so it doesn't hurt to know each other, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah? Huh? I
Well,
mean, I can tell you more about the Goddess Supreme. Well, but then again, I don't know all that much about the Goddess Supreme other than the fact that I listen to her voice and she tells me what to do. Other than that, I don't know all that much about the Goddess Supreme. She is an odd one, though. But, I don't know about her sometimes. She confuses me.
So you only listen, but you don't know her.
I mean, technically, I know her. We're like buddies.
That's an odd relationship.
It is odd. It's very odd, actually. People do call me an oddity. I am able to cast spells through the Goddess Supreme herself. And as you all know, if you are aware of it, do you all understand how holy magic works when it comes to clerics and paladins and just faith itself?
Sure.
Yalar, do you?
uh, I'm familiar, but
Hmm?
just seen it in action. Just don't never really spent the time to completely understand how
Ah,
it
well,
works.
that's all. That is totally okay. Allow me, the great Relinoa Jams Cadenza, to explain to you how magic works in the name of the gods here in Tyrusur. You know clerics such as I, but I am an oddity. Do you either one of you happen to know a paladin or a cleric?
Yes.
I've yes, I've met a cleric.
And what about you, Nomu? Do you know a cleric or a paladin?
A good friend of mine, Ediar, of House Dasani.
Ediar of House Tasani. I don't think I've ever heard of that house before. But he was a
Neither have I.
cleric.
Ooh, it got cold in here.
Ediar would be pissed.
Oh, he'd be mad.
Yeah, you would.
He'd be like, "What do you mean you've never heard of House Tasani?"
I am not going to tell Julian that.
Well, she goes, "Well, did either one of your friends tell you how their magic works? As you all know, wizards, they learn the school of magic, such as evocation or transmutation. They go to schools, such as the ones in New Tempest. Or you have the warlocks, such as you, Yalar, that have your benefactors that you create a pact with, and you can cast boom boom magic based off the pact that you have. And then you have sorcerers who just happen to be born with random magic. It's kind of weird, actually. I've never met a sorcerer myself, but then you have paladins and clerics, and we are able to use our magics and borrow them from those that we follow. Without a god or goddess to follow, a cleric or paladin do not have the capability of casting magic. Did you know that?
Sure.
I imagine.
Well, I know all about the gods and goddesses of Tyrostur. I happen to have studied quite a bit of the Octadic Divine and the Heptatic Evils myself.
Caught up with taverns and caverns, or just needing more Dungeons and Dragons in your life? Why not check out another Geekly Inc. show, Greetings Adventurers? Join Rourke, Screech, Celine, and Chuck on their mishap adventures as they bumble their way through a world where magic is forbidden and an evil emperor needs to be stopped. Will they be able to keep their magic abilities a secret, or will they be discovered and meet a different fate from the emperor? Probably both. But join us to find out. New episodes release every Monday, and episode live streams are every Tuesday at 8:40 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/geeklyinc.
I grew up in a town known as Runswick in Londe. It's a small town in the northwest along the borders of Vir-Boldor, not too far from there. Growing up, actually, I wasn't always the oddity that some claim me to be this day. I actually grew up from a family of music. which is why I can play music so well. Speaking of which, as we're eating tonight, perhaps I will play you both a tune as a thanks to allowing me to join you to the village of Ormsa. My lute plays killer songs, which you probably remember from battle. You remember the battle music, right? It totally got you in the mood to fight, didn't it?
You mean that howling?
What? It's not howling. It was battle music. It's supposed to inspire you.
Wow, Nomu, you just all types of monsters, aren't you? Just your music was quite lovely.
Thank you, Yelar. Someone appreciates music around here. But yes, as I mentioned, I'm from a town of Brunswick and Londe. Both my parents, well, I should say I'm half elf. My mother was human. My father was an elf. But growing up, I learned all sorts of instruments. I know how to play almost every single one of them. Some say I was gifted in the talent of music, but fortunately, the goddess supreme made herself known to me at a young age. My parents didn't know what to do with me. They thought it was weird. They thought maybe one of the gods were speaking to me directly. So they sent me off to the abbey where I would learn to become a cleric. And I learned everything there is to be a cleric under the watchful eyes of the Octatic Divine, and I have learned quite a bit of the heptatic evils as well. Now, in order for a cleric to cast their magic, they have to have a strong belief with their god or goddess. If there is anything that severs that tie, the cleric isn't able to cast that magic. However, unfortunately, the Abbey didn't see things the way I did. They didn't believe in the Goddess Supreme, nor could I really explain to them who the Goddess Supreme was, so they kicked me out. And some labeled me as a heretic, some labeled me as a weirdo. And here we are. Today, I'm following the path of the Goddess Supreme. She tells me I have to go to this town known as Wild Run in Ossia, which is past Manavik. So I'm going to be traveling south for a while. So if the two of you are actually going to... Where was it again you guys are going to?
Yelar looks at Nomu.
Ah, the Velidan Enclave.
Ain't that where we're going?
The Viridian Enclave, you said. Is that what you said, Nomu?
We're going to see I need to see a Vitalis tree. Rava's Grove.
Brava's Grove. Wow. So you're actually going further south than I am. Wild Run is along the northern forest of Ossia after we leave Strider Valley. Rava's Grove is actually very south in Ossia along Razor Summit Mountains. Sounds like we're both going in the same direction. So what do you guys think? How about we travel together until we hit Wild Run, and then I can leave you both to your own devices? Especially here, traveling in Strider Valley, it's dangerous, as you just saw. The Goddess Supreme wouldn't want me traveling alone. As she's talking to me now, she says, travel with these two.
Are you sure she's not part of the Octatic Evils?
Of course not. The Goddess Supreme doesn't care for the heptatic evils. I know all about the heptatic evils. I've studied their ways. Do you know anything about the heptatic evils, Nomu?
But you don't know her.
No. But she hasn't guided me down a dark path yet.
How you know you're not on a dark path?
Because I am following the words of wisdom.
You're
I'm not
following a
doing
cat and a
anything-
turtle.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything evil. Look, listen. Okay, if you don't believe me, I'll explain to you why I'm going to the town of Wild Run. Listen, there is a woman, a wood elf woman,
Yeah.
by the name, listen now, by the name of Izarel Oladi. She is a masterful craftsman when it comes to building instruments out of wood. As you all know, most instruments are made out of wood. And where else better than going to the nation of the great forest nation of Ossia to get your hands on the most beautifully crafted instruments? Particularly, one, she knows something about music that I need to ask her about. And two, Goddess Supreme wants me to speak with her. That's all I need to know.
All right. Yeah. That's what you said.
Yeah. Which is nothing along the lines of what the heptatic evils would have me do.
Oh, yeah, of course not.
Oh, myself, I completely understand. You know, just following the guidance and let the sticks may fall where they lie, I guess.
Yelar understands. The Goddess Supreme is asking me to go meet with this particular individual, Izarel Oladi. And that's what I'm going to do. If it was any of the Heptatic evils, they would probably be trying to scheme me into doing some dark plots. It's definitely not Roken, or as the orcs call him, Roktar, god of conquest and violence. So I haven't done anything violent other than whoop some hill giants' ass that were standing in our way. Two, it's not Mevra, the goddess of dark magic and forbidden stuff. I mean, I'm not doing anything forbidden. It's definitely not Galleon, the god of corruption. From what I have heard, the god of corruption tries to corrupt you in many ways, and I have yet to get that vibe from the goddess supreme. And Chronelia, let's not get me started with Chronelia, the goddess of treachery. There is no one that I'm trying to betray. Come on now. What kind of treachery am I trying to cause here by meeting with an elf woman? And then the god of wrath, Uros. I'm not on a conquest to deliver pain and punishment to those in front of me. And then Lotius, the god of chaos and despair. Tell me where the chaos is coming from, or the despair. I'm not here to give you despair now, am I? And then you have the last but not least, Zetia, the goddess of greed. I'm not really trying to pick your pockets now, am I?
No
Well, I
one's
mean-
gonna stare at Yelar.
Sometimes wrath might be justified, especially when those come in and try to kill and eat your family, things like that.
I mean, to each their own. I'm not saying the god of wrath is not justified from time to time. I'm trying to explain to the both of you that the goddess supreme is neither one of the heptatic evils. I would know, trust me. What is that, goddess supreme? She turns her back to the two of you as she folds her arms, thinking. She's talking out loud. Really? I didn't know that, goddess supreme. Yeah, they think they think you're like one of the heptatic evils. I don't understand why. I haven't done anything.
I didn't say that.
Noma's still staring at Yelar. narrowing his eyes, man.
Nomu is like, what the fuck's wrong with this girl?
He ain't buying not a goddamn thing.
Nomu's concerned.
Yeah.
Hey, Cat, are you hungry?
Yeah, I'm about to go hunt something.
I hope it's not kobolds.
I'll bring back what I find.
Just letting you know, if it's kobolds and you rob them from their families,
You eat what I give you.
He storms away.
Meanwhile, as Nomu storms away, Relinoa is just talking to herself. So, yeah, I know. I just told them about all 7 of the heptatic evils. They still don't believe me. She turns around. Speaking of which, where'd Nomu go?
Well, hopefully not to kill any innocent families.
She
He
looks
likes
at
to eat. He likes to eat kobolds,
she looks at you dumbfounded and just like a look of shock. She can't say anything.
Hmm?
Kill families? What are you talking about? You over here worried about me following the goddess supreme, who might be a.
I never said I was worried about you.
Is there something you're not telling me about, Nomu?
I just
Killing
met-
innocent families? What are we talking about here? What is going on?
Apparently, he likes to eat kobolds. He told me.
Um,
I know. I agree.
I won't be eating anything from Nomu's pack.
I agree.
So, where did he go? He just went to hunt, I guess?
Yeah.
Oh, well, if that's the case. It looks like you're stuck with me and the Goddess Supreme, Yelar. As I was saying, Yelar, the Goddess Supreme, she is holy. She is good. She is not evil. You have my word.
I believe your word.
Thank you. Not very many people do believe me.
Oh boy.
Some people, actually, not some, there's actually a lot of people from the Abbey that call me a heretic.
No. I used to get that a lot when I used
It's
to talk to my friend.
odd. Isn't it weird? Like, I get it. I understand the octatic or the octatic divine. I understand the heptatic evils. I understand there's going to be people that follow either pantheons, either group of gods. But why is it that as soon as someone follows a god or goddess that's not part of either one of those groups, people get their pants on a bunch? Some of the people of the octatic divine are supposed to be good. A lot of the clerics and paladins of the octatic divine are supposed to be good people. But sometimes They're far from it. You don't follow one of their gods, they see you as a heretic sometimes. Some people are just too extreme. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, sometimes I get all uppity.
That's right. Just because I follow the Goddess Supreme doesn't mean I'm bad or good, but because the Goddess Supreme is not part of the Octadic Divine or the Heptatic Evils, all of a sudden I'm a heretic. And an oddity, and in a weirdo. But there are gods out there that exist other than the ones in the Octadic Divine and the Heptatic Evils. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I met someone that followed different types of gods from another
See?
land.
See? What land were they from?
What was it again? A shy?
You're shy.
No, a shy.
A shy? Don't think I've heard of a shy before.
Someplace far east.
Far Eastern lands. Interesting. Like a whole continent, like Tirister?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool. You knew someone from another continent?
Yeah, I went to help them out.
And they had other gods that they followed.
Yes, that's correct.
What were their gods called?
What was it? They were like animals or something.
Animal
Something like
gods.
that. Yes.
Oh, so kind of similar to Orion, the god of beasts, except he doesn't really. Well, he does sometimes reveal himself as an animal, but typically he's depicted as a humanoid. But similar enough to Orion, the god of beasts. Yeah.
I think so. I think one of them said that one of the guys kind of looked like my race, but you know, but I don't know. Sounded pretty cool.
Yeah. See, there's other gods out there other than the ones within the Ring of Scions. And for those that don't know, the Ring of Scions, that's just bunching the Octadic Divine and the Heptatic Evils all in one group, or Tirister. They're known as the Ring of Scions. See, a shy knows what's up. There's other gods there in a shy, following animals and whatnot. So what makes the Goddess Supreme any different? Also, there are other gods out there in the world that we know of that are technically not part of the Ring of Scions, such as, Undine, the goddess of the seas, or Senelia, the goddess of sound and music. They may not be part of the Ring of Scions, but they're still gods nonetheless. It's just these people that follow Octadic Divine. Well, let me take that back. Not all of them. The most extremist ones, the Zealots, they think that the other gods and goddesses are beneath the Ring of Scions. But hey, no, to each their own. Anyways, when's Noma getting back? Is this safe for him to go out there by himself?
I don't know, but I'm gonna trust him.
That's
Hopefully.
That's my hunting roll. 20.
All right, you got 20. Noma. While Yelar and Relinoa are having a conversation, you're out there in the field. You're able to stalk your prey. There is a herd of buffalo.
Damn.
Yep. And with a survival 20, you're able to get close enough to the herd and you're able to sneak one. How are you attempting to take one if that's your decision?
He's in the brush doing the cat wiggle.
All right. So make me an attack roll with advantage as you attempt to attack one of the buffalo in the herd. Oh! Because you have advantage, because of your 20 survival, you're able to sneak up with a crit. So as you jump from the brush, the buffalo herd is caught off guard, and you're able to crit the buffalo that you were targeting. And in one fell swoop, whether it would be with your greatsword or however else you want to do it,
Great sword.
you take out the buffalo with ease. The other quickly look your way. They open their mouths as they were chewing on grass. The grass falls out their mouths. They're surprised. They start running as the buffalo that you crit falls to the ground dead by your blow.
Ah, good. Tell your friends about me.
It's Gonna drag the buffalo back by his legs.
Damn! Tell your friends about me. Them buffalo wide-eyed, they fucking running, they fucking booking it. They scared out their shit out for their lives, man.
I brought dinner.
Relinoa looks to the side and she gazes upon the buffalo that Nomu was dragging, and she goes, "What? You hunt that?
Yes.
That's a rather large buffalo. Isn't that going to be way more than what we can eat?"
We'll bring some with us. I have a big appetite anyway.
Oh, well, the Goddess Supreme will be ecstatic on this meal. I could play some amazing music while we eat. Are you a good cook?
Yes. Yeah, sure.
That didn't sound like you were very positive there, Nomu.
Oh, no, we're good.
Yelar, can you cook?
I'm usually a fish type of person myself.
Okay. Well, how about this? You guys start cooking, and I'll play some nice and beautiful music so you can learn and see how well I play. How about that? The Goddess Supreme actually wants me to do this.
Sure.
All right.
Let me dress the animal.
Perfect. So as you begin to prep for dinner, the fire's already started. You see Relinoa, she reaches in her pack and she pulls out this loot. And she has a magical bag of holding, so she's able to pull the loot out of this bag. And it's a beautifully crafted loot. It looks like, it's been the loot itself has a sheen to it. You can tell that she takes very good care of this loot. She makes sure that it stays away from being damaged in any way, shape, or form, and she has done her best to keep up with its maintenance. But she is going to roll a performance check with advantage. Let's see here. So a 20. So as you begin preparing dinner, Nomu, and whatever Yelar you're doing, you see she has this lute out, and she takes it into both arms, and she begins to play and plucking at the strings. And as she does so, she goes for a more mellow and peaceful tune with it. But with a performance of 20, you can see that she was not lying. Her music is so beautifully crafted. She is a master at playing the lute. And as she's playing this music that has a beautiful ring to your ears, it's so beautiful to you that the both of you begin to slightly reminisce about the good times in your past lives.
Very good music. And beautiful instrument.
Thank you. I take pride in my music. As I told you, I am from a family of music.
Yes, it reminds me of Damien. I think Damien would love it. I can picture Damien robbing you now.
Yeah. Your friend Damien is a thief.
I can picture it. Shaking you upside down for your coins. So lovely.
And I'm the questionable one, though.
I agree with her.
You have to be there.
Yelar, are you sure it's not me that you don't want to trust instead of no?
I never said I didn't trust you, and my level of trust of this cat over here, I'm starting to question you.
I'm no thief.
I'm no thief. But your friend Damien apparently is.
Yes.
Is this one of your really good best buddies?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, where is he now?
Probably robbing some priest.
No, Nomu, I'm really questioning your ethic here. You're really good buddies with a thief that robs priests.
Yes.
You do know that is punishable crime in many of the nations, actually.
I'm sure it is.
That can call on the wrath of the gods with themselves.
And those gods that get robbed too, I'm sure. All pockets are the same to Damien.
Nomu, I don't know your friend over there, but I'm sure your friend would be kind of a little upset that you ever heard of the expression "snitches get stitches"?
Yeah, I'll introduce you to Damien. Don't you worry.
No thanks.
Nah, I got you.
Oh, so not only do you know a thief named Damien, you also have a cleric friend named Ediar Desone. Any other friends that you want to tell us about?
All right, what do you want to know about?
I don't know. I'm just trying to get to know you guys a little bit better. We're gonna be traveling with each other for a while now, right? Right.
Eh,
So you said you're going to Rava's Grove, particularly for the Vitalis tree. Any reason?
yes. To bring a friend back.
Oh, you're attempting to revive someone from the dead.
Aye.
The Supreme Goddess. I know, Supreme Goddess. That is typically not something that people do. Yeah, I know. I understand. The Supreme Goddess says that is quite the task you're attempting to accomplish. And I, for one, agree. It's not easy to revive someone from the dead. And one, they have to be willing. The soul of the dead have to be willing to come back. If you're
I'm
going,
sure Elroy would do it.
oh, so your fallen comrade is named Elroy. Hmm. So you're traveling to the Vitalis tree in order to obtain the elixir of life, I presume, in order to revive your fallen comrade. That
Aye.
is an honorable goal. Now, I will warn you, the Vitalis tree is heavily guarded. They don't just let anyone in. You do know that, yes?
I expect it to be guarded.
And what are you going to be offering the druids of Rava's Grove for an elixir of life? Those are very expensive and they don't come cheap.
I'm sure it doesn't.
Uh, do you have a plan to get one? Are you trying to pay them? What are you trying to do?
Listen, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. For now, I want to focus on the buffalo.
Fair enough. Okay. So, Yelar, where are you from?
I'm from the marshes.
The marshes of Darkfin Marshes?
That is correct.
Oh, don't think I have met anyone from the Darkfin Marshes. What are you doing all the way out here in Strider Valley?
Oh, just exploring.
I understand. An adventurer of sorts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, can't say I've done anything crazy like either one of you. I'm a traveler myself. I dabble in things here and there, particularly with music when the time comes. The goddess Supreme, whenever she has a mission for me, I obey. What? So are you guys okay then with traveling with me to Wildrun?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. I told you they'd do it, Goddess Supreme. I told you they'd do it.
Are you sure about that, Nomu? No more evil looks, anything like that?
Oh, she'll get the evil looks. I don't trust her.
He's saying aloud as if she wasn't there.
Well, you know what, Namu? For us to travel together, we don't have to trust each other. However, if we do come across foes along the road, we will have to trust each other in combat, like we did against the Hill Giants. Can we agree on that at the least?
Oh, sure.
And you know what? As we travel, sometimes, not to talk myself up, but sometimes I'll play music in the taverns and people will toss me gold. We can use that on our travels.
Yeah, sure.
But you've not seen a bard before?
I believe Damien has sung a song or two.
No, this is just not simple singing. I mean an actual bard. I'll have you know, I do have experiences as a bard. As I mentioned, I'm from a family of music. I was originally a bard before the Goddess Supreme spoke to me and I became a cleric. And for those listening, Relinoa is multi-classed. Level 2 bard and a 5th level cleric.
Nice.
Rob, nice. Those wondering how she plays music so well.
Yep.
So, have you ever wanted to start your own podcast and just had no clue on where to begin? Fear not, for we at Taverns and Caverns are here to help you. Before we began the Taverns and Caverns podcast, we originally had a few members who wanted to learn the game of Dungeons and Dragons. With 3 of the 4 players being new to the game, we decided to make a podcast of it just for fun, and to possibly encourage others to try the game for themselves. Starting a podcast can seem daunting, but we're here to tell you that it can be simple with an all-in-one tool. It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen, knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. If you have thought about podcasting before and realized that you need a lot of different tools and services, those days are now over, my friend. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and distribute to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use my code TavernsCaverns, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experience as I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. And with that, let us continue our campaign. Well, listen. Gotta Supreme has gone silent, so you're stuck with just me. I'm gonna go and, I guess, get some shut-eye for now, I guess, and I'll leave you two to your own devices.
Eat your food.
Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. She begins to eat the buffalo.
I ain't slave over this hot fire for nothing.
Make another survival.
Is that me?
Yes. 10. She eats the buffalo. It's not bad. Not bad. Pretty good based off the fact you just hunted it and we don't have like a kitchen. It's pretty good, but it's not the best, but it's not bad. I like it.
Yeah, it's dry.
I agree. A little dry. It could use some basting or something. Some marinade, you know?
Simple pinch of salt could do it.
Yeah.
Hey, Yelar, you gonna dig in this?
Sure, why not?
There you go, some fatty meat right here.
Takes a bite. Thank you.
He looks so concerned, or sounds concerned. What's wrong, Yelar? You sound like you're concerned. Are you afraid it's poisoned? Is it poisoned?
Oh, surely. I don't think so. He's eating it.
Why would I poison my own food?
I don't know. There's crazies out there.
Do I look crazy?
Kind of twitches the left eye.
Sometimes.
Fair enough.
Starts chowing into the buffalo
Yeah, that's the part I was afraid of.
like a beast in the wild.
Watching him eat.
National Geographic style, man.
Well, no, just you are a wild one, aren't you, Nomu? No manners, really.
Yeah, I agree. I grew up on my own in the swamps, and I've never seen such
Savagery?
disgust. Yes, savagery.
I got manners. Look, I left you some rump roast here.
You can finish it. I'm full right now.
All right.
He bites into that too.
Nice to do that. Well, I think I've eaten my fair share. I'm gonna hit the hay. I'll see you guys in the morning, and hopefully we can get to Ormsa within the next couple of days. Relinoa, she pulls out of her bag of holding a sleeping mat, and she begins to try and doze off. What do 2 of you do?
No one's gonna fall asleep eating.
I think Yelar's going to stay watch for a little bit.
Okay. So you stay watch.
Before he nods off.
All right, so as the rest of the evening goes by, you're not attacked. You're fairly safe. No one on the main road comes across you, nor do you run into any potential threats during the night. Morning strikes, and Relinoa is up fairly early, packing her things, getting ready to continue traveling to Ormsa. And as the morning goes by, the 2 of you also wake up. So again, you're not fully healed. Have your spells back. You have that long night's rest. You feel well off. particularly because Nomi was able to find a gigantic buffalo. So I'm assuming, Nomi, you cut up parts of the buffalo to bring with you.
Oh yeah.
So you have some buffalo meat to hold on to for the time being.
Yep.
And we'll just say the three of you continue your travels. You hop back on your horses, and you continue southwards. And as you continue your travel, Relinoa just, out of nowhere, it's been about half the day now. He speaks up. Well, so Yelar told me where he was from. What about you, Nomi? Where are you from, actually?
I'm from Bracana.
Oh, the desert nation. Oh, very cool. What brings you here?
You know, the Vitalis tree.
Oh, so you're coming all the way from Bracana just to get to the Vitalis tree.
Sure.
Now, as I'm going to be traveling with the both of you, the Goddess Supreme has brought up a fair point. Are there any enemies that either one of you happen to have that I need to know about on our travels, since I'll be traveling with the two of you?
Noma flicks his eyes elsewhere, man.
I surely don't.
No, you're rather silent. You going to answer that question?
Oh, I thought I did. I answered, didn't I?
No, you did not. Which makes
What?
which makes me think you actually do have some enemies you need to tell us about.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm not too sure about my enemies or anything.
Well, you should probably tell us, even if you're not too sure, just in case, so Yalar and I can keep our eyes peeled. Because if we're going to be traveling together, we have to watch each other's backs, especially out here in the Strider Valley. Anything can happen here.
Hmm.
If you have enemies and we're caught traveling with you, they're probably going to assume that we're also their enemies. So I think it's fair to Yalar and I if you tell us of any of the enemies you may have.
I'm
my,
sure one of them is kobolds.
my enemies are not here.
What are their names? What do they look like?
Yeah, I can't divulge that information. Here, I'll tell you about one. Lord Butterflin.
Lord, who?
Lord Butterflin.
Why is he your enemy?
He doesn't like me.
What'd you do to him?
Exist.
Oh, he's one of those types.
He's an elf that hates me.
An elf with the title of Lord. Is he also from Bracana?
No. Estelle Duin.
Oh, he's actually from Estelle. So how did someone from Bracana come across a Lord from Estelle?
During our travel, we ended up there. And some an elf woman took us in.
Who's us?
My family.
Oh, okay. So what happened from there?
I took jobs hunting monsters.
So you're a monster hunter.
Yes.
And you took jobs hunting monsters. Okay, how does that make you an enemy of this Lord Butterfree?
He didn't like the attention I was getting. So his soldiers were getting paid less.
Oh, I see. So you were hunting monsters, I'm assuming, for a group of people within a village or a town of some kind, reducing the number of monsters, therefore making there be less work for the soldiers that followed Lord Butterfree. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, so it's all about the money.
Very much so. Lord Butterflin loves money. Like a god, I say.
So how are you still enemies if you've left? Aren't the monsters back now that you're gone?
He was going to exile my family, but I gave him a better option. I'll leave if my family get to stay.
Oh,
He was more than happy to say yes.
interesting. So you were technically banished, kind of?
Yes.
And what happens if you go back?
That's a good question.
Do you even still keep in touch with your family?
I sent a letter some time ago.
Did you get a letter back?
No,
Oh, that's not good.
I'm sure they're fine.
Well, that sucks. I mean, why would he be your enemy still, though? Why would he still hunt you? Would he hunt you? I don't know. Would he send people after you?
That depends on how much money is on my head.
Oh, what? Are you wanted?
Not sure.
Uh,
I hope not.
I hope not. Yeah, I hope not too.
Lord Butterfly has deep pockets.
Hmm. Well, we're pretty far from Estelle Deween, so I don't think we have to worry about this Lord Butterfriend.
You think?
Hmm. What about you, Yalar? Do you have any enemies?
Like I said, not really. I mean, the only enemies kind of would have was a pack of orcs that tried to kill our village a long time ago when I was a child, but I took care of them.
Oh,
But yeah, that's how I first got my powers.
oh, you got your powers in the midst of danger.
Yes. And for that, I was kind of kicked out because I scared everyone. But Bog had stuck by me for quite some time.
Your friend Bog.
Yes.
Where's your friend Bog now?
He's buried.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it was a good thing. I mean, it was kind of like a relationship of like you and the goddess supreme over there. So got a few eyes staring at me. So this is why I kind of understand when you talk to the goddess supreme and everyone calls you a heretic.
It's not fun now, is it?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's what I thought. See, at least you understand. I mean, I'm not hurting anyone.
Exactly.
I don't understand why some of these zealots that follow the Ring of Scions have to be so strict about things.
Agreed. Have you ever one of them called goddess supreme a rock?
No.
Good.
They called your friend Bog a rock?
Yes.
Well, that's not nice.
I know, right?
Well, I'm sorry to hear about Bog. It does sound like you and Bog had a similar relationship that I and the Goddess Supreme have, but I guarantee you the Goddess Supreme is not evil. I know it's odd. People can't hear her voice except me,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what plenty of other people say when they're talking to the Ring of Scions. Someone that follows, I don't know, Solaris, for example, says they speak with Solaris all the time, but I can't hear them talking to Solaris.
Doesn't Edyar pray to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rob said, yeah. And some even yell out in the middle of battle, following the god of Armas, the god of strength. You don't hear Armas talking to them now, do you?
Armas. That sounds stupid.
Drifting Snowflake wouldn't agree.
Oh, Jeffrey Snowflake will climb his ass right here. You said that, man.
For those that don't know Drifting Snowflake, that is Rob's Paladin character from the Tavern of the Caverns Patreon.
He's a lion.
Yes. Who would win a fight, Rob? Who do you think? Namu versus
Oh, Drifting Snowflake will climb in Nomu's ass. It wouldn't even be fair.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you want to give our listeners an example of what Drifting Snowflake sounds like?
But Armas. Everything I do in the name of my thought.
Yeah, he's a pretty strict paladin that follows Armas, the god of strength.
Very rigid. Very rigid.
I didn't think he'd say that he'd climb them. I thought it'd probably be an equal fight, but apparently not.
Oh no. Nah. Homage. That maul he has. Oh yeah, dude.
Would it break the Nomu's greatsword?
The righteous
The
grace.
righteous greatsword. Ain't so righteous against drifting.
No. I don't think it'd be a fair fight.
Damn. That's saying quite a lot.
Mhm.
There's some listeners right now saying, no, fuck that. No, whoops that my ass.
Probably.
But for those that don't know drifting, check out the Taverns and Caverns Patreon. Yeah, just throwing a self promo there.
Oh,
See what I
please
did?
check it out. Please check it out. It's awesome.
So, as I mentioned, the Goddess Supreme is a bit odd. I don't think I have any enemies. I mean, the Abbey at Brunswick, they did kick me out, but they didn't like threaten me. They just banned me from the Abbey and said that I was a heretic. Well, not all of them said that, just some of them. The other half were fairly nice about it, but not everyone that follows the Ring of Scions are bad. Most of the Octadic Divine followers are decent people. You just have your zealots from all sorts of different factions that take it too far sometimes. But no, I don't think of any. I can't think of any enemies that I would have. As she's in long, deep thought, she goes silent.
I'm sure you made some.
I probably did.
You're a zealot too.
What? I'm not a zealot.
Of course you are. That's okay.
How am I a zealot?
You're a zealot.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm confused. What makes her a zealot?
Why don't you ask about her Goddess Supreme? She'll tell you herself.
What do you mean? Ask about my Goddess Supreme.
Tell us how good she is.
Goddess? How good she is? She's amazing. Goddess Supreme is the best of all gods.
And how is that?
She just is. Why? What's wrong with that?
I don't think that's an answer.
How is it not an answer?
Because she
She
just is.
She is the supreme goddess. She's above all other gods. But I don't take that in a bad way. That doesn't mean I'm going to not respect your god. It just means that mine is on a higher level.
Yeah. My God cares about money.
Your god cares about money?
Yeah, sometimes. She changes.
Uh,
Don't worry
think-
about it.
I don't think money is a god, Nomu, unless you're following the god of greed.
I'm talking about Bastet.
Oh, well, I don't know anything about Bastet, so I can't help you there.
Yeah, who is Bastet again?
Don't worry about it.
I mean, were you making up gods or something? Or, 'cause
I don't know. Ask my friend Relinoa if we're making up gods.
I'm not making up gods. The God Supreme is real. I talk to her every day. You guys see me talking to her. Why would I talk to myself? I'm not crazy.
Case in point, Yelar.
I mean, I talked to my friend Bog. Don't mean I'm crazy.
Who?
See?
My friend Bog.
Who the hell is that?
Well, he's no longer with us.
No, weren't you listening? He just told us who Bog was.
I heard a rock. And I was
Take that back.
confused.
You take that back.
I'm confused.
The Bog is not a rock. You take that back.
I'm only going based on what you said.
I said some people call him a rock. He wasn't a rock.
Why would they call him a rock?
I don't know. People sometimes eyes don't work.
Better watch out, Nomu, because that motherfucker, Yalar's a motherfucker. You call Bog a rock, you're gonna wake up in the middle of the night, him staring at you through the window. This fucking turtle just staring at you, man. Violence.
Convince you to open chest. They're mimics.
I still don't know what he is. He ain't told me.
I said he was my friend. He was a Shalarian, just like myself, but he died when we were both young.
Oh,
Eaten.
why did you say that?
I just did.
You told me some people called him a rock.
I said that earlier when
You
I
ain't
said
mentioned the eating.
I told you that when you were talking about the kobolds, when you first told me about kobolds. I said my village was eaten by orcs.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
My condolences.
Tell that to the family of kobolds that you ate.
I ain't need a family of kobolds. I eat one kobold.
Tell that to his kin.
What can? If I
Oh,
saw
the
the can, I eat
kobold.
them too.
You are a monster.
Name is Noma the Monstrous.
Monster.
And you want to call me the crazy one?
Nomo's not crazy. He only eat kobold.
Sounds a little crazy to me.
You should have a conversation with a kobold one time.
He didn't want to talk the first time.
Yeah, because you try to eat them.
He tried to kill us.
I mean, you kill them back, you don't eat them.
I did kill him back, and then I ate him.
I didn't eat the orcs that tried to eat that ate my village.
Why would you want to eat an orc?
Because they tried to kill us, and they ate us.
I mean, you could have tried to eat him back.
You are disgusting.
I'm not disgusting. I am realistic.
Anyway.
Okay.
We should be going.
Yeah, let's change the subject. So as you guys finish your conversation and continue your travels to the village of Ormsa, a couple more days go by, about 2 to 3. You finally reach the village of Ormsa, which sits along the main path that you've been traveling on. And that's where we'll end this episode of Taverns and Caverns. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to another episode of Taverns and Caverns. This is your Dungeon Master, HaphazardDM. You can find me on Twitter at HaphazardDM.
This is Robert Jones. I play Nomu the Monstrous.
You can find me on YouTube, Trubone, Trubone.
This is Rodimus. You can find me on Twitter at Rodimus7901 or at Blue Sky at Rodimus83.
All right. Those are our players for this season of Taverns and Caverns, Path B. And don't forget to check out the Taverns and Caverns Patreon for exclusive content that you won't want to miss. Until next time, guys, on Taverns and Caverns, take care.